with the hush money indictment Trump is preparing to give up in New York. For the first time ever, a former U.S. president will be charged with a crime after the dramatic spectacle in Manhattan. Tuesday's appearance by Donald Trump in a Manhattan courtroom will be a historic occasion because it will be the first time in American history that a former president has been charged with a crime. Tuesday will see Trump enter the Lower Manhattan courthouse as a defendant, accompanied by Secret Service officials. Trump will be the 45th President of the United States and the frontrunner for the Republican candidacy in 2024. Trump will be booked, have his fingerprints taken, and perhaps even be photographed. One of Trump's attorneys has stated that he does not anticipate the defendant to be handcuffed, despite the fact that people charged with felonies normally are. Days after a Manhattan grand jury indicted the former president for his role in paying hush money to an adult film star, the specific crimes with which Trump is charged are still under wraps. It is anticipated that the former president will submit a not guilty plea. Trump intends to return to Mar-a-Lago, his Florida resort, after the historic hearings, where the campaign has organized a primetime news conference. Trump has claimed in social media posts that he is a totally innocent guy and that the indictment is a part of a larger plot by Democrats to harm his political future. The case against Trump, according to the prosecution, has nothing to do with politics. Grand jury testimony over a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, who claims to have had an extramarital affair with Trump in 2006, went on for weeks. The former president has disputed her claims. The payment to Daniels was made in the final weeks of the 2016 presidential campaign by Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney and fixer, to prevent her from disclosing the alleged encounter. Later on, Trump, who was then the president, compensated him. The Trump Organization listed the payments to Cohen as legal costs. In 2018, Cohen admitted to allegations of violating campaign finance laws and federal tax evasion. Trump has intensified his criticism on Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg since hearing about the case. Additionally, he attacked one Merchant, an acting justice of the New York Supreme Court who was presiding over the case, saying he hates me. The former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, was found guilty in a criminal trial that Merchant ruled over last year. He also presided over the criminal fraud trial involving Steve Bannon, Trump's former White House advisor. Security is tight in anticipation of Donald Trump's return to New York, where he established his reputation as a real estate tycoon and launched his presidential campaign in 2016. Trump entered Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue via a gilded escalator. The former president had planned to fly into the city on a private plane bearing his name, spend the night at Trump Tower, and then turn himself into New York police on Tuesday for a booking and probable arraignment the same day. In anticipation of anticipated protests, barricades have been placed outside Trump Tower and the Manhattan Criminal Court building in downtown because of the recent brutality of the January 6 Capitol incident. Despite a warning from the president that an indictment against him might result in possible bloodshed and destruction, allies of the president have urged supporters to stay calm. The case is just one of numerous legal issues that Trump is dealing with as he launches a third presidential bid. A Georgia prosecutor is looking into Trump's attempts to overturn his loss in the state's 2020 election. In addition, the U.S. Justice Department is looking into Trump's retention of confidential information after leaving the White House in 2021 as well as his attempts to maintain power in 2020, which ended in his followers' violent assault on the U.S. Capitol. But, the indictment seems to have strengthened his standing among Republicans, which had waned since he left office. current polling indicates that Trump is expanding his lead over the hypothetical Republican field of candidates, and his opponents and potential opponents are supporting him. The campaign has also boasted of record-breaking donations. Nonetheless, a number of polls, all conducted before the accusations were made public, show that the majority of Americans support the indictment and agree with the grand jury's decision.